A billionaire gave a homeless girl his credit card for one day. What she bought left him speechless. Marcus Sterling storms out of his $50 million penthouse, his jaw clenched so tight it could crack diamonds. The billionaire CEO just discovered his own daughter called him heartless in a viral TikTok video that's already hit 3 million views. The rain pounds the sidewalk as Marcus walks blindly through downtown Seattle, his $1,000 suit soaking through. He built an empire from nothing, clawed his way to the top of the tech world, and this is how his own family sees him? The comments on Emma's video replay in his mind like a broken record. Your dad literally stepped over a homeless woman yesterday, and rich people have no soul. Marcus pulls out his phone, scrolling through the endless stream of hate comments. Capitalism at its worst, reads one. Hope his daughter disowns him, reads another. Each word feels like a knife twisting in his chest. He's sacrificed everything for success, his marriage, his relationship with Emma, his own peace of mind. And for what? To be called a monster by strangers on the internet? He stops at a red light, fumbling for his phone to call his lawyer about damage control. The rain is coming down harder now, turning the streets into rivers. That's when he sees her. A girl, maybe 17, sits hunched in a doorway across the street. Her clothes are layers of worn fabric that barely keep out the cold. She's trying to shield a cardboard sign from the rain, but the words are already bleeding together. Marcus can barely make out, "Please help," before the ink runs completely. The light changes. People flow around her like water around a stone. Nobody stops. Nobody looks. A businessman in an expensive coat steps around her without breaking stride. A woman with shopping bags pretends not to see her. A teenager with headphones walks past as if she's invisible. Marcus feels something twist in his stomach. Is this what Emma sees when she looks at him? A man who steps over people in need? He crosses the street, his Italian leather shoes splashing through puddles. The girl looks up as his shadow falls across her. Her eyes are brown, alert, and completely without the desperate hunger he expected. Instead, there's something else there. Dignity, intelligence, a quiet strength that doesn't match her circumstances. How long have you been out here? Marcus asks. She studies his face for a moment, taking in the expensive suit, the perfectly styled hair, the watch that costs more than most people's cars. Long enough to know you're not from around here. Her voice is steady, educated. The accent is neutral, middle class. This catches Marcus off guard. He's expecting broken English, maybe a slurred voice from drugs or alcohol. Instead, she sounds like she could be giving a presentation at his company. What's your name? Marcus asks. Sarah. She doesn't ask for his. She doesn't recognize him from the news or the magazines. To her, he's just another wealthy man who might or might not help. Marcus pulls out his wallet, then stops. Every homeless person he's ever encountered has immediately started talking, explaining their situation, begging for help. Sarah just watches him with those calm brown eyes, waiting to see what kind of person he is. You're not going to tell me your story? Marcus asks. You're not going to ask for it. Sarah replies. You're going to give me whatever you plan to give me. Feel good about yourself for 30 seconds, and then forget I exist. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. They're exactly what he was planning to do. Drop $20, maybe $50, and walk away feeling like he'd done his good deed for the day. He slips his wallet back into his pocket. You're right, he says. Sarah's eyebrows raise slightly. She wasn't expecting that. Most rich people get angry when called out. They either storm off or start lecturing about how hard they work for their money. Marcus crouches down until they're at eye level. Rain drips from his hair onto his expensive suit. Tell me something. If you had unlimited money for one day, what would you do with it? Sarah laughs, but there's no humor in it. That's a cruel question to ask someone who's counting quarters for a cup of coffee. I'm serious. Sarah looks at him for a long moment. She sees something in his eyes, not pity, not curiosity, but something deeper. Pain, maybe, or genuine interest. I'd probably disappoint you. Try me. Sarah shifts, pulling her thin jacket tighter. You really want to know? I'd buy warm clothes for everyone on this street. I'd get medical care for Jimmy. He's got a cough that's been getting worse for weeks. I'd pay for hotel rooms so people don't have to sleep in the rain. I'd buy groceries for families who are choosing between food and rent. Marcus feels something shift inside his chest. You wouldn't buy anything for yourself. Like what? A house, a car, nice clothes, a vacation. Sarah shakes her head. Those things don't matter when you're watching people suffer. Something in her tone makes Marcus reach into his jacket pocket. He pulls out a black credit card and holds it between them. The titanium catches the streetlight, gleaming like a weapon. This card has no limit, Marcus says. Take it for 24 hours. Do whatever you want with it. Sarah doesn't reach for the card. She stares at it like it might be a trick. What's the catch? No catch. Just curiosity. Nobody gives away unlimited money out of curiosity. Marcus thinks about Emma's video, about the comments calling him heartless. Maybe I need to know if my daughter is right about me. He sets the card on the ground between them. Rain begins to pool around it. 24 hours. Starting now. Sarah stares at the card. This is insane. Probably. Marcus pulls out his phone and shows her his contact information. Text me when you're done. Or don't. Your choice. He stands up, water dripping from his hair. The pin is 1807. My daughter's birthday. Wait, Sarah calls after him. What's your name? Marcus pauses. Marcus. Marcus Sterling. Recognition flickers across Sarah's face. She knows who he is now. The CEO of Sterling Tech, one of the richest men in the Pacific Northwest. The man whose daughter just called him heartless on social media. Why are you doing this? She asks. Marcus looks back at her, sitting in the rain with a credit card worth more than most people's life savings. Because maybe it's time I found out who I really am. He walks away without looking back, leaving Sarah alone with the most dangerous piece of plastic in the world. Sarah picks up the card with shaking fingers. She turns it over, looking for hidden cameras, for some sign this is a prank. But the weight of the titanium is real. The embossed numbers catch the light. The name Marcus Sterling is etched in small letters at the bottom. She stands up slowly, her joints protesting after hours on the cold concrete. The first thing she does is walk to the nearest ATM. She slides the card in, her heart hammering. The machine asks for a PIN. She types 1807, thinking about a billionaire who knows his daughter's birthday by heart, but can't connect with her enough to keep her from humiliating him online. The screen lights up. What would you like to do? Sarah stares at the options. She could withdraw the daily limit, probably $10,000. She could take the money and disappear, start over somewhere else. Nobody would blame her. Instead, she cancels the transaction and walks away. The 24-hour diner on the corner is the same place that's kicked her out 3 times this week. The neon sign flickers in the rain, casting red and blue shadows on the wet pavement. Sarah takes a deep breath and pushes through the glass door. The bell jingles as she enters. The night manager, a heavy-set man named Dennis, looks up from behind the counter. He's already reaching for his phone. You again, Dennis says. I told you. Sarah places the black card on the counter. I'd like to buy dinner. Dennis looks at the card, then at Sarah's torn clothes, then back at the card. His expression shifts from annoyance to suspicion. This is stolen. Run it and find out. Dennis hesitates, then picks up the card. The name, Marcus Sterling, doesn't mean anything to him, but the titanium weight suggests it's real. He slides it through the reader. The transaction approves immediately. Dennis's eyes widen. Okay. What do you want? 2 minutes later, Sarah sits in a booth with a steaming plate of meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. The food is simple, nothing fancy, but it's hot and it's hers. She eats slowly, savoring every bite. Dennis keeps glancing at her from behind the counter, probably wondering if he should call the police. But as Sarah finishes her meal, she's already thinking about tomorrow, about the 23 hours she has left, about Jimmy's cough and the family's choosing between food and rent. She pulls out her phone, a cracked iPhone she found in a dumpster but managed to get working, and starts making calls. St. Mary's Shelter? This is Sarah. I need to speak to whoever handles donations. The woman on the other end is suspicious at first. Middle-of-the-night calls about large donations are usually scams. But when Sarah offers to come down in person with a credit card, the tone changes. "How much are we talking about?" the woman asks. "How much do you need?" Marcus can't sleep. He keeps checking his phone, expecting a text about maxed-out credit limits or fraud alerts. Instead, there's nothing. No calls from his bank, no security alerts, no messages from Sarah. At 3 a.m., he gives up and drives to his office. The 42nd floor of the Sterling Tower is empty except for the security guard. Marcus badges in and takes the elevator to his corner office, the one with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. He sits at his desk, staring out at the lights scattered across Seattle like fallen stars. Somewhere down there, Sarah is doing what? He realizes he has no idea what she'll choose. The conversation keeps replaying in his mind. Her voice when she talked about buying warm clothes for everyone on the street. The way she looked at him, like she was seeing straight through to his soul. His computer shows the real-time activity on the black card. At 11:47 p.m., a $23 charge at Murphy's Diner. At 12:15 a.m., a $847 charge at Walmart. At 1:22 a.m., a $1,200 charge at a 24-hour grocery store. At 2:45 a.m., a $2,500 charge at St. Mary's Shelter. Marcus frowns at the screen. The amounts are too small, too calculated. He was expecting to see charges for designer clothes, electronics, maybe a luxury hotel room. Instead, it looks like Sarah is buying necessities. He opens another window and starts tracking the locations. The Walmart charge was for camping gear, sleeping bags, portable heaters, warm clothing. The grocery store charge was for non-perishable food items. The shelter charge was listed as Emergency Housing Fund. Marcus feels something strange in his chest, a tightness that might be pride or might be shame. He's not sure which. His phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. "Can you meet me at Pioneer Square at 8 a.m.? There's something I want to show you." Sarah. Marcus texts back, "I'll be there." He doesn't sleep at all. Instead, he sits in his office, watching the charges accumulate on his screen. $5,000 at a medical clinic, $3,200 at a pharmacy, $1,800 at a clothing store. Each purchase is modest, purposeful. There are no luxury items, no personal indulgences, just necessities bought in bulk. By 7 a.m., the total is approaching $20,000. Marcus has spent more than that on a single dinner. But something tells him Sarah's purchases will have more impact than any meal he's ever eaten. Pioneer Square is bustling with morning commuters when Marcus arrives. The rain has stopped, but the air is still cold and damp. He spots Sarah immediately, but she's not alone. There are at least 30 people around her, all holding steaming cups of coffee and paper bags. Sarah sees him and walks over. She's wearing the same clothes as yesterday, but she looks different. Tired, Mavi. More confident. There's a light in her eyes that wasn't there before. "You came," she says. "I said I would. What's all this?" Sarah gestures to the crowd. "Breakfast. For everyone who sleeps rough in this area." Marcus looks closer. The people around Sarah aren't just random passersby. They're homeless. Some young, some old, all holding food and hot drinks. They're talking, laughing, sharing stories. For a moment, it looks less like a charity handout and more like a community gathering. You bought breakfast for 30 people? 47, actually. Some are still coming. An older man with a gray beard approaches them. His clothes are clean but worn, and he walks with a slight limp. "Sarah, you're an angel. My first hot meal in 3 days." Sarah smiles. "Just paying it forward, Joe." As Joe walks away, Marcus stares at Sarah. "This is what you did with unlimited money. You bought breakfast for homeless people." "I bought a lot more than that." Sarah pulls out a folded piece of paper from her pocket. It's covered in her handwriting, a detailed list of expenses. St. Mary's Shelter can now stay open for an extra month. The food bank has enough supplies to last through winter. There's a family of 4 who won't be evicted this week because I paid their rent. Jimmy, The man with the cough I told you about. He's getting chest x-rays this morning. Marcus looks at the paper. The writing is neat, organized. Each expense is categorized: food, housing, medical, clothing, emergency fund. At the bottom, a total, $47,000. You spent $50,000 on other people. $47,000, Sarah corrects. I'm not good at math, but I can count. Marcus runs his hand through his hair. Why? Because I know what it's like to be invisible. A woman approaches with a small child in tow. The child, maybe 6 years old, is wearing a new coat that still has tags on it. The woman looks tired but relieved. Sarah, thank you so much. The grocery store gift cards. We can actually eat this week. And the coat for Danny. He's been wearing the same thin jacket all winter. Sarah hugs the woman. Take care of yourself, Lisa. And Danny. After Lisa and her son leave, Marcus shakes his head. I don't understand. You could have bought anything. A car, a house, clothes, jewelry. You could have changed your entire life. I did change my life. Just not the way you expected. Sarah sits on a bench. Marcus joins her, ignoring the dampness soaking through his expensive suit. You want to know my story? Sarah asks. 6 months ago, I was a freshman at University of Washington. Full scholarship, pre-med program. I was going to be a doctor. Marcus waits, sensing there's more. My foster mom got sick. Cancer. She raised me from age 7, took me in when nobody else would. She didn't have insurance, fell through the cracks in the system. I dropped out to take care of her. Used my tuition money for her treatments, sold everything I had to pay for experimental drugs. What happened? Sarah's voice gets quieter. She died anyway. 3 months ago. The state took back the house because it was subsidized housing for foster families. I had no money, no family, nowhere to go. I've been on the streets ever since. Marcus feels something twist in his chest. Why didn't you tell me this yesterday? Because it doesn't matter. Everyone has a story. The guy over there, Joe, he's a veteran with PTSD. The VA failed him, and he's been living rough for 2 years. Lisa lost her job when her company downsized. They laid off everyone over 40. Their stories matter just as much as mine. A young man walks up, carrying a box of sandwiches. He looks like he might be in college, but his clothes are threadbare and his shoes have holes in them. Sarah, the shelter said they have enough food for 3 weeks now. This is incredible. How did you manage this? Sarah smiles. Someone believed in me for 24 hours. That's all it took. After the young man leaves, Marcus asks quietly, "What happens now?" "Now I give you this back." Sarah hands him the credit card, and I figure out what comes next. Marcus takes the card but doesn't put it away. "What if I offered you a job?" Sarah looks at him sharply. "Doing what?" "I run a foundation, Sterling Foundation. We donate millions to charities every year, but we never really connect. We just write checks to organizations and hope the money gets used well. Maybe we need someone who understands what it's like to need help." "You're offering me a job because I gave away your money?" "I'm offering you a job because you gave away my money better than I ever have. In one night, you did more good than my foundation has done in years." Sarah stands up. "I need to think about it." "Fair enough. But Sarah," she turns back, "my daughter was right about me. I have been heartless. But watching you today, maybe it's not too late to change that." Sarah walks away, leaving Marcus alone on the bench. Around him, the people she helped are finishing their breakfast, talking quietly among themselves. A few come over to thank him, thinking he's responsible for Sarah's generosity. "You raised a good girl," one woman says. Marcus doesn't correct her. That evening, Marcus sits in his penthouse, staring at his phone. The news is on, but he's not watching. He's thinking about Sarah's words. Everyone has a story. He's thinking about Joe the veteran, Lisa and her son, Jimmy with his cough. People he's walked past 1,000 times without seeing. His phone buzzes. A text from Emma, his daughter. "Dad, I saw the video of you at Pioneer Square. Someone posted it online. Is it real?" Marcus frowns. He texts back. "What video?" Emma sends him a link. Marcus opens it to find shaky phone footage of him and Sarah at the square that morning. The person filming caught Sarah handing out food, and Marcus standing there looking stunned. The video is only 2 minutes long, but it captures something important. The way Sarah moves through the crowd, knowing everyone's name. The way people light up when they see her. The way Marcus watches it all with growing amazement. The caption reads, "Billionaire Marcus Sterling watches homeless girl give away his money to help others. Plot twist of the century." The video already has 200,000 views. The comments are different from the ones on Emma's original video. Instead of anger, there's curiosity. Hope even. "This is beautiful," reads one comment. "Faith in humanity restored," reads another. "That girl is a hero." Marcus's phone starts ringing. "Emma, Dad, people are calling you the billionaire with the heart online. What happened?" Marcus tells her everything. About the credit card, about Sarah's choices, about the breakfast in the square, about how Sarah spent $47,000 on others and not a penny on herself. She gave it all away? Emma asks. Every penny. And she didn't keep a single dollar for herself. There's a long pause. Then Emma says, "Dad, that's beautiful." Marcus closes his eyes. "I think I've been doing everything wrong, Em." "Maybe. But it's never too late to do it right." After they hang up, Marcus sits in his empty penthouse, surrounded by expensive furniture and artwork that suddenly feels meaningless. He thinks about Sarah, probably sleeping in a doorway again tonight, even after giving away enough money to buy a house. He thinks about the choice she made, the choice to help others instead of herself, the choice to trust a stranger with unlimited money and use it to change lives. Marcus has made a lot of choices in his life, built a company, accumulated wealth, gained power, but he's never made a choice like Sarah's. He's never looked at unlimited resources and thought, "How can I help?" Maybe it's time he learned. The next morning, Marcus drives to Pioneer Square. He finds Sarah in the same doorway where they first met, but she's not alone. She's teaching a small group of kids how to read, using books she must have bought with the credit card. "You came back," she says without looking up. "I have a proposition." Sarah sends the kids to play and turns to Marcus. "I'm listening. Don't take the job at my foundation. Start your own." Sarah blinks. "What? You understand something I never did. You know exactly where the money needs to go and how to get it there. You know these people's names, their stories, their real needs. Let me be your first investor. How much are you talking about?" Marcus pulls out an envelope. $50 million. To start. Sarah stares at the envelope like it might explode. "This is insane. It's the smartest business decision I've ever made. But you don't even know me. I know you gave away $50,000 to people who needed it more than you did. I know you slept on the street rather than spend a penny on yourself. I know you're teaching kids to read when you could be anywhere else in the world." Sarah takes the envelope with shaking hands. "What do you want in return?" "I want you to change the world, and I want to help." "Why?" Marcus looks at the kids playing nearby, at the adults gathering around Sarah like she's a beacon of hope. "Because yesterday, I learned something about myself. I learned that I've been rich my whole life, but I've never been wealthy." "What's the difference?" "Rich is about what you have. Wealthy is about what you give." 6 months later, the Sarah Chen Foundation operates out of a converted warehouse in downtown Seattle. The space buzzes with activity, job training programs, literacy classes, medical clinics, and housing assistance. The walls are covered with photos of people who've been helped, stories of lives changed, families reunited. Marcus visits every week, but not as a donor, as a volunteer. He serves meals, reads to children, and learns names. Names, real stories. He knows that Joe the veteran now has his own apartment and is working part-time at a hardware store. He knows that Lisa got a new job and her son Danny is thriving in school. He knows that Jimmy's cough was pneumonia, caught early enough to treat successfully. Sarah finds him one evening, washing dishes in the kitchen. She's wearing jeans and a simple sweater, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. She looks nothing like the broken girl he met in the rain, but her eyes are the same. Kind, intelligent, determined. "You know you don't have to do this," she says. "Yes, I do." "Why?" Marcus stops washing and looks at her. "Because 6 months ago, I was a man who had everything and felt nothing. Now I'm a man who has everything and feels everything." Sarah smiles. "Your daughter would be proud." She is. She volunteers here every weekend now. She's thinking about switching her major to social work. "And the other billionaires? The ones who used to be your friends?" Marcus shrugs. "Some think I've lost my mind. Others are starting their own foundations. Turns out, people just needed someone to show them how." Sarah picks up a dish towel. "So what's next?" "Next, we open the second location. Then the third. Then we keep going until there's no one left sleeping in doorways." "That's a big goal. Good thing I know someone who's good at spending money on the right things." As they work side by side, Marcus thinks about that rainy night 6 months ago. He gave Sarah a credit card expecting to learn something about her. Instead, he learned something about himself. The foundation has helped over 500 people find housing, 200 people find jobs, and 50 families avoid eviction. The numbers are impressive, but Marcus knows they're just numbers. The real measure of success is in the faces around him, the stories of transformation, the hope where there was once despair. Sometimes the best investments aren't about getting returns. They're about giving someone else the chance to prove what they're worth. And sometimes, the richest people are the ones who have nothing left to lose. Outside the warehouse, Seattle bustles with its usual energy. But inside, something different is happening. Hope is being served one meal at a time, one lesson at a time, one person at a time. Marcus Sterling is still a billionaire, but now he's something more. He's human. Sarah Chun is no longer homeless, but she's something more too. She's home. The black credit card sits framed on Sarah's desk, a reminder of the day that changed everything. Not because someone gave her unlimited money, but because someone trusted her to use it right. And she did. The foundation's motto, printed on every wall, captures it perfectly. Everyone has a story. Everyone deserves a chance. It's written in Sarah's handwriting, the same careful script she used on that cardboard sign in the rain, the sign that started it all. Marcus stands by the window, watching the volunteers leave for the day. Sarah joins him, and they stand together in comfortable silence. "Do you ever regret it?" Sarah asks. "Regret what?" "Giving me the card. Changing everything." Marcus thinks about his old life. The empty penthouse, the meaningless acquisitions, the hollow feeling of success without purpose. Then he thinks about Emma, who calls him 3 times a week, now just to talk. About the letters from people whose lives have been changed. About the simple satisfaction of knowing he's made a difference. "Never," he says. "Do you?" Sarah looks around the warehouse, at the photos on the walls, at the evidence of lives rebuilt and hope restored. Never. They stand there as the sun sets over Seattle. 2 people who found each other in the rain and discovered that sometimes the best way to save yourself is to save someone else. The story began with a credit card. It continues with something much more valuable. It continues with humanity.